morning, everyone. It's just gone 11 a.m. here in the UK. Good morning to most of you, but good evening for those of you down under. So, oh, dear me. These morning live streams are becoming a little bit of a habit. It's not a habit that I intend to keep for long. However, the latest nonsense that's come out of the Sebastian Rogers case, I don't know what I don't know what to tell you. I mean, are you like me, getting really fed up of all of this complete nonsense that's coming out? And the latest nonsense is from TikTok Tony. You know Tony Mathis, yeah, the new PR guy. I'm starting to see why a lot of people have been negative towards this guy. And I'm starting to see perhaps why the PIs left. I mean, one of them was fired, but listen, I don't believe, I'm just going to be really upfront, I don't believe the latest nonsense that's come out from TikTok Tony. I don't believe it. Prove it. Prove it to me. All right, prove it to me. But for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, well, let me fill you in. I'll give it a couple of minutes for people to get in, though, first, before I get into it. And if you're just getting up and you haven't seen any other news on any other case, well, the Madeleine Soto case is way worse than we thought. And I'm going to assume that Jen Soto is complicit in the abuse, unless law enforcement tell us otherwise. The latest stuff from the document dump, I'm going to assume, I've got to assume that she was complicit in some way, shape or form with what was going on in that house. I mean, talk me down from my high pedestal if you want, but that's what I'm going to assume. So I did a short video about that this morning. I haven't actually seen the documents. I've just been referring to what's come out in the mainstream media. I haven't actually got my hands on the documents yet. But several news sources have got them and have quoted from them. And it's terrible. Absolutely appalling. Appalling, I tell you. But that is that, and this is this. I mean, it's coincidental that Madeleine Soto was reported missing on the same day that Sebastian Rogers was reported missing. And the two cases can't be more different. But, dear me, it doesn't seem like we've been talking about these two cases, though, since February. I mean, where does the time go? Time just flies by. We're like middle May now. And we're still none the wiser with Sebastian's case. At least lots of headway in Madeleine's case, and Stefan Stearns is going to be in prison for the rest of his natural life. Fire up old Sparky is exactly what I'm thinking right now. She had to know. She absolutely had to know. Anyhow. Good morning, everybody. Those of you just coming in. All right, so I'm going to fill you in. Who have we got in, by the way? Let's have a look. Yeah, can you please hit the thumbs up? Hit the thumbs up. It just helps with the algorithm. Helps with the algorithm. We've got some down under people here. Hello, you guys. Good evening. Good evening to you guys. Hi, Purple AJ. Holly. I was hoping that I'd cover these latest revelations. Not sure if Sebastian texting KP's mom was a new thing or had been in contact. I don't believe it. Unless they can provide some proof, I just don't believe it. I don't believe any of it, honestly. Hi, Shell. Hello from Alabama. CW. Hello from my neck of the woods. Selena, Chemistry Queen. Lisa, daughter of Scotland. My oldest member. I'm sure you're my oldest member, daughter of Scotland. Jess, Terry, tuning in at 3 a.m. Whoa. Yeah. I'm trying to remain grounded with this case. I mean, the more nonsense comes out, the more annoyed I get, the more frustrated I get. And I think it's coming across, but okay, I just can't help it. Hi, Jean from Italy. 10 p.m. here in New Zealand. Hi, Bex, Anthony, Zanane. Who else have we got? Where would he get the information? Well, where would he get the information? He's got it from good old TikTok. That's his source. His source is TikTok. All right. 6 a.m. in New York. Some more Australians in here. Good stuff. 5 a.m. in Louisiana. 6:03 in Kentucky. More Australians. Got Melbourne, Australia. Fire up all Sparky. All right. Okay. So before we get into this TikTok thing, now I've been able to get about 11 minutes of footage from this TikTok. It happened overnight my time, and I've only been able to get clips. So I've got about 11 minutes worth of clips, kind of just pieced together. I've just kind of meshed them together. So I don't know which clip came first or anything, but it's I think we've got the bulk of the conversation with this. So I don't know how long this TikTok live went on, because when you click on a TikTok live link, if someone posts a link, once it's no longer live, that link no longer works. So it relies on somebody saving it, either screen recording it or saving it onto TikTok to actually get it. So why Tony's there on TikTok when it has a really awkward system of how you get to replays of live streams, I've no idea. When Tony came on board, he was only going to be appearing on very select channels, and he was only going to be doing mainstream media news. He wanted to get on, the nationals in the US. He wanted to be on, what is it? CBC, is it? Is that Canada, CBC? Anyhow, CNN, that's the one. I was thinking of CNN and NBC. Yeah, well, he got on Nancy Grace again, I guess, but anyhow. Oh dear. So it happened overnight my time. I've been able to glean from the Facebook groups some clips, and it's a nonsense. So I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it all. But before we do, Sebastian Rogers, 15 years old, white male, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'5", just under 120 pounds, was last seen on the 25th, or was it the 26th of February, but reported missing about 6:33. The call came in 6:33 a.m. on the 26th of February, and Sebastian was last seen on Stafford Court at his home in Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee. Last seen wearing black sweatpants with an Adidas style white striping down them, a black sweatshirt, a long sleeve top with some kind of motif on it, and he always wears his glasses. If you've got any credible information, not just what you've heard on TikTok, mind you, but credible information, please contact either the Sumner County Emergency Communications Centre at 615-451-3838. I know that number off by heart now. or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. I'm going to be very interested to see whether law enforcement are forced to comment on this, or whether they'll retain their usual stoic silence. All right, so without further ado, let me get this up and running.
Sebastian on.
All right. I'm sharing this in a slightly different way than I normally do. So let me know that you can hear this. All right. Let me know that you can hear this. All right.
Of Sebastian on the 26th, and we thought that the last footage they had was on the 25th.
Can you hear that? Just need an okay that you can hear that. Anybody? Anybody want to tell me that you can hear it? You can. Good stuff. All right, we'll start at the beginning then. All right. Again, I've pieced some clips together. So I don't know what came first. But obviously it's all from the same night. They're all Tony's wearing the same thing. And then there's this dude called Steve, who is appears to be Tony's source, who also gets on the panel. They're wearing the same clothes, so it's definitely the same night. Right. Okay.
Of Sebastian on the 26th, and we thought that the last footage they had was on the 25th, so we know now they've got additional footage.
Is it frozen? Or is it just frozen? Oh, StreamYard is so clunky and horrible. Dear me. All right, hold on a minute.
Everybody not coming.
All right, I'll have to do it this way. StreamYard, sort it out, son. Look, it's just frozen. Sort it out. All right. Get rid of that. I'll have to share my entire screen, which is annoying, but it is what it is. Dear me. Dear me, StreamYard, sort it out, son. Sort it out. All right. We'll start again. Let me know that you can hear it okay. Now I'm sharing my entire screen because it's just annoying. Can you hear this?
On the 26th, and we thought that the last footage they had was on the 25th, so we know now they've got additional footage. The biggest thing I think is that we got information from them that they had a theory the first 72 hours, and after 72 hours, that theory took a 180-degree turn, and that's what I think was the biggest information.
What do you?
Okay. So Tony has gleaned evidence that there was a sighting of Sebastian on the 26th. Okay. But very vague, very, very vague on what this sighting is. I just don't believe it. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. Exactly. Remember, this is the guy the PIs couldn't work with, or they'd risk losing their license. Thank you. Yes. I don't believe it. As I said right at the beginning of this, I can now see why people have been so negative. I gave him a chance. I give everybody a chance. I give everybody a chance, you know, to either prove their worth or prove who they really are. And if he can prove his worth and he can prove these things that he's saying, then great. I'll eat my words. Happily, I'll eat my words. But at the moment, I'm now seeing what the people who were negative about him from the jump, I can see it. I can see it. But it gets worse.
Is the biggest information? Which part do you think is the biggest information? The biggest new information, Tony? Sorry, I missed that.
Let me bring
Body.
Because we did, like, we went backwards, and when we looked at the information, it said that the last sighting, or the last date, was on the 26th, somewhere on what is it, Court Drive, or wherever, the street name, not the house, not that location, which is where we started to question there has to be some type of footage after the house, or for them to say that it was somewhere on
TBI poster. I said it from the beginning. It says he was last seen on February 26th in the area of Stafford Court. I made like 37 videos about this. I knew they had fucking footage of him. I knew it.
Okay. All right. Now, on the TBI poster, so I'm assuming she means the Amber Alert. It does indeed say missing since February 26th. From the area of Stafford Court. So this TikToker is correct. That's what the Amber Alert says. However, some things on the Amber Alert, because Amber Alerts, you know, they're written with haste in mind. They just want to get the information out there, and they don't include necessarily absolutely accurate information. For example, it says black sweatpants. And we heard on the dispatch audio that Katie had told them that these were black sweatpants with a white stripe, like Adidas style white striping. We heard it on the dispatch call. But that didn't make it into the Amber Alert. And they're not going to put a house number on an Amber Alert. They might put the block, you know, the 1000th block or the whatever block, but they don't give, I've never seen anyway, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never seen an actual house number, right? They don't. So the area of Stafford Court would include his house, all right? And then missing since February 26th, well, he was reported missing on the 26th. So it was last seen, as far as we know, from law enforcement. It's law enforcement that I'm going to believe on this until I hear otherwise, not from TikTok Tony. You know, that Katie last saw him late on February 25th. So he went missing between the late night hours of the 25th and 6 a.m. on the 26th. Rhonda, thank you so much for the $2 That's very kind of you. Thank you, thank you. So I've not read anything into that. I know some people have. I personally don't read anything into either of those things. So look at TikTok Tony there with his big grin. Now, this dude who's just joined the panel down here, this guy's called Steve. And this guy is the source. Allegedly. Would you trust that guy? Would you trust that guy? Would you trust him? I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know him. How did Tony get involved? Well, I think someone recommended him. He's been working on the Caleb Harris case. So the young man, the 23-year-old who's gone missing out of Corpus Christi in Texas. And someone recommended him to Seth. That's the story that I've heard anyway. I mean, I'm not exactly sure how all the pieces fit together. But I just find it very, very, very interesting that the PIs, as soon as Tony got on board, One of them jumped and the other one was pushed. TikTok Tony cheesing it up. He is indeed cheesing it up. Whose panel is this? I don't know. This is some, I don't know. This is from TikTok. It happened overnight my time, and I've just been able to piece together about 11 minutes of clips. So I don't know whose panel it is. Does it say who the host is? Maybe it's cut off the top there. I don't know. I don't even know whose panel it is. Thank you, Vet Girl, for the $9.99. That's so kind of you. Mum fell asleep midnight. Mum last saw him when she was awake and alert. In my opinion, midnight is the 26th. Yes. Yeah, it is. Midnight is the 26th. You are, yeah. So, thank you so much for the $9.99. It's very kind of you. It's nothing but a circus. Absolutely. Totally is. Totally is. Complete circus. It's a disservice to both boys to be working on two high-profile cases at the same time. Well, there's not much happening with Caleb's case. In the words of TikTok Tony himself, there's not much going down on Caleb's case. I mean, this guy is not a private investigator. And if he's there for PR, PR, if he's there to, I don't know, speak on behalf of the family, that's one thing. But the way that he's interjected himself now into, these TikTokers panels is a little bit disconcerting. Is that SF investigates? No. This is just some random guy called Steve. Not SF investigates. SF investigates really doesn't like TikTok Tony. Doesn't like him at all. Tony wouldn't know if there was another video, would he? No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. You would think that, the day that Seth met with law enforcement and they showed him, proof of life from the Texas Roadhouse, and they showed him the footage of Sebastian taking out the trash, which Seth said wasn't very clear. You would think if they had another video of him on the 26th, whatever time that was, any time after midnight, they'd have shown Seth. You'd think that Seth, who was asking for proof of life, would have been shown those videos. Yeah, someone called Stephen Crabtree. Who Stephen Crabtree is, I have got no idea. But he's the source. He's the guy who's been liaising with law enforcement. What are PI people supposed to do? Well, kind of like, I don't know, speak for the family. If the family gets like too emotional or prefers to stay behind the camera, PR person. Like in Riley Strain's case, there's a family friend, I think he's called Chris, who speaks on behalf of the family. Now, he doesn't bill himself as a PR guy, he's just a friend of the family. And he's done some of the interviews. So I understand that, I get that, but just having some kind of random person who you've no idea who they are, they've no history in law enforcement, no history in investigations of any kind, just to bring them on board when you've got two, experienced PIs already working on your job, then I think alarm bells have to ring somewhere along the line. And it was Tony's idea to get Seth working with Katie and Chris. And I can absolutely understand why Katie and Chris don't want anything to do with this guy. I really can. We do need a press conference. That's why I said I'd be interested to see whether law enforcement make a comment. I suspect they won't, but it'd be interesting to see. Money was mentioned on Pascal's, predicting another GoFundMe or something. Yeah, I saw that. Apparently, they're supposedly setting up some kind of, like, I don't know, fund, like trust fund organization, rather than a GoFundMe.
Hi, Bonnie.
I knew it.
Body's right. Mhm. So what do you think this means? What does everybody like? So what? Let's have it. What does this mean? What do you guys think this means?
I'm telling you, I think he left on his own. I really do.
You think he left on his own?
Well, I'll tell you why I don't think that. I think that they thought that the first 72 hours, but for them to say they had a 180-degree turn after that, I don't think that they believe that anymore.
Who did they say that to?
I didn't hear that part.
Stephen.
Okay. So they said it to Stephen Crabtree. So all of this comes from Stephen Crabtree. So yet another individual who now appears to be inserted into this case. I didn't know who Stephen Crabtree was until about, I don't know, 2 hours ago when I started to put these clips together. But Stephen has been liaising with law enforcement and they've told him, they've spilled their guts to him. Who'd have thought they're going to spill their guts to a random guy and they're not going to tell the parents? I mean, look, to be fair, they could well have told Katie and Chris exactly the same things as what they told this Stephen Crabtree, allegedly. And Katie and Chris are keeping their silence because law enforcement have told them not to tell anyone. That's absolutely possible. Maybe they didn't tell Seth because Seth is a blabbermouth. But instead of telling the dad, they're going to tell a random guy. Okay. I don't know if Stephen's the guy who's starting the non-profit. I don't know. So is Katie's mom involved? I don't think so personally. But if Tony would like to prove me wrong and show the evidence, then I would love that. But shall we hear what Stephen Crabtree has to say for himself? Let's do that.
Gosh, this is just pissing me off. Like, this is wild to me that they are telling me this even.
I asked the question, was this a criminal investigation or not? He said that information has already been put out there. And I said, what do you mean by that? The TBI spoke about this already. I said, I seen something, but it didn't mean it was factual. I thought it was coming from hearsay.
The TBI didn't say that, did they? They have never said that it's a criminal investigation. TBI have said very little. Now, the latest information that we got from Sumner County, from Nick Barris' source, Nick Barris being the reporter from News Channel 5 Nashville, he has a source. He talks actually to Eric Craddock, the chief deputy at Sumner County. And just less than 2 days ago, Nick Barris had got an update from law enforcement and there was no movement on the case. No movement at all. Absolutely no evidence of foul play. No evidence that anybody was involved at all, whether it's the parents or anybody. No evidence of foul play. But they're still in the same position. They're not ruling anything out. It's just nothing's happened. So now this Stephen Crabtree appears to believe that this is a criminal investigation. Now, why would law enforcement lie? Why would they lie to Nick Barris? Why would they lie to the public about it being a criminal investigation? Why would they say we don't know? Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just say this is now a criminal investigation? There's no reason why law enforcement wouldn't say that. Let me tell you. No reason why they wouldn't say that. Yeah, that's the most they've said, that girl. We are moving into the investigative phase. Exactly. But an investigative phase doesn't mean that it's necessarily a criminal investigation. They're investigating the case. So all options are on the table. And they always do that. Right? You know, if a case goes on for, you know, more than a week or 2 weeks, and they've exhausted the immediate search area, and they've drawn the conclusion that the person that they're looking for isn't in the immediate vicinity where they thought they were, then they withdraw their resources from an acute search, and they might do targeted searches, you know, as and when they need to, you know, to follow up on leads and stuff. But the investigation, the resources are a desk operation. You know, that's where the best money for, you know, for the resources that they've got available should be driven. An investigation of all possible leads, some of which are going to be criminal leads, potentially. So people do get confused when they hear investigation. They think it means it's a criminal investigation. It doesn't mean that. If they want us to know that it's a criminal investigation, they would have said that we now believe this is a criminal investigation, or we're investigating this as a criminal investigation. They just said. There's no reason why they wouldn't say that. And there could well be. There could well be a lot of leads that lead them down the path of it being potentially a criminal investigation. I mean, anything other than Sebastian wandering off on his own, you know, and getting lost and perishing, every other, you know, possibility does have a level of criminality to it. And that doesn't mean murder. And it doesn't mean the family. It's just generally. You know, let's say, for example, Sebastian arranged with a friend to go and stay at his place or her place. Well, that person who's been harbouring a minor for the last almost 3 months has committed a crime, even if Sebastian wanted to be there voluntarily. So there's kind of different levels of criminality, isn't there? You know, some of it is Sebastian left of his own volition and someone's hiding him. Someone's helping him. Okay. Everything else from that becomes a lot more sinister. But still, let's see what Steve found out.
He said, I can tell you that in the first 24 hours, it was a runaway. After that, it turned into a missing case. Then he said,
can you tell me what the difference is between a runaway and a missing case? Because if someone runs away and the person who's responsible, well, let's assume it's a child, right? In this case, it is a child. If a child runs away and they're reported missing, it's a missing person's case. It's a missing person's case from the jump. Someone can run away and become missing. Soon as that person is reported missing by the, you know, parent or guardian, it's a missing person's case. So that's nonsense. That's bullshit. That shows just how little this guy knows, in my opinion. There's quite a few clips in your FB group, is there? I haven't checked for the last couple of hours. There may be more clips. I'm sure there are, because I've got 11 minutes, just over 11 minutes worth of clips. A runaway doesn't warrant an Amber Alert. Okay. It might well do. It might well do. Because if that child has run away of their own volition and 24 hours down the line has occurred, that child is now in imminent danger. And in Tennessee, that's what's required for an Amber Alert. Like in some states, thank you, Purple AJ, for the 10 memberships. Once again, what a absolute superstar. Linda, Spiritual Being, Kaya Gypsy, Sirius Black, Holly, another Holly, so 2 Hollies, Feel the Love, Ms. Michelle, great name, Dina and Nice Marie, welcome. You get a month's free memberships courtesy of Purple AJ. Once again, single-handedly adding to my memberships. So kind. Look, in some states, the criteria for an Amber Alert are really strict. You know, it has to be that there's an abduction and there's a description either of a suspect or a vehicle. But in Tennessee, their Amber Alert system, their criteria, you can go and look it up on the tianga.gov. Their criteria for an Amber Alert is if a child is in imminent danger, of serious injury or death, then they issue the Amber Alert. So that child could have run away. That child could be consciously hiding from law enforcement and from everybody, could be hiding and hearing the searchers shouting the name, and an Amber Alert would still be issued in Tennessee. That's why Sebastian Rogers has got one with, no sign of a suspect, no sign of a suspicious vehicle in the area, no sign of an abduction. That's why Summer Wells got one. Whereas Michael Vaughan in Idaho didn't get one because Idaho's criteria for Amber Alerts is stricter. So no, I disagree. In Tennessee, the two things can coexist. Very relaxed Amber Alert system. It is good. It is good that it's a relaxed. I think if any child is out there under, they're vulnerable, and any child out there, either whether they're on their own running away or they're with someone, they are very vulnerable and they are in imminent danger of serious injury. And I think in part they issued the Amber Alert after 24 hours because it had been mild. The weather had been mild for like the 2 days. So the 26th, 27th, the weather was mild. And then it dropped really cold. So I think that was part of the thought process, was that if Sebastian is out there and, he's fending for himself, he's under real danger now of hypothermia. So they issued the Amber Alert. But hey,
I can tell you that 72 hours into this, we had a whole nother direction we were going. We started collecting footage from all areas that we can look at with all cameras to see what we could come up with, to see whether he really walked off or somebody got him.
Right, the very morning that Sebastian went missing, they did door-to-door on Stafford Court, on Kellen, on Willow Bend, Honeysuckle, along, what's the main road called? Long Hollow. They were out there. You could hear them, like with the house numbers. That's how I was able to, cross on a map. Some of you will have seen it if you've been watching my videos, where the cameras were on Kellen. So they were doing that on the morning. Within 2 hours, they were doing that. So after 72 hours, then, of course, they're going to have got even more camera footage. They'd have gone wider out. They'd have revisited the houses that weren't in when they knocked on the 26th. They were appealing for people to, check the cameras, check dash cam. So, yeah, I'm sure that people rang in with, suspected sightings. We know there have been quite a number of suspected sightings, but law enforcement have told us that none of those have panned out. So after 72 hours, they probably had a really good understanding of the cameras, all the cameras, where the cameras were. By mid-morning, you can hear it yourself on the dispatch audio. By mid-morning on the 26th, they were already plotting out all the cameras in the area on a map. You could hear them talking. Somebody said, I need the house numbers. Let me know the house numbers. So this guy, if anybody's believing him, this guy, in my opinion, is full of it. He's full of the big brown stuff. Now, if he wants to prove me wrong, I'm all ears. You want to show me the footage that, I don't know, you must have it. You must have it. The sighting of Sebastian on the 26th. I'd love to see it. I'm sure we all would. Prove it. Prove it to us all.
Said a lot of the cameras were actual. We had a lot of good camera footage in the area. There was a lot of people that brought that forward, right? And he said, so that's where that everybody not coming forward. That's where we. That was funny because Tony confirmed that just then. I've kept that to myself actually. So the people had came forward.
We know loads of people came forward. We know they did. Loads of people came forward. By 10 a.m. on the 26th, they canvassed a bunch of houses and people were willingly checking the cameras, showing the cops the cameras. Willingly. And I'm sure that many people came forward in the area. No, I don't think it's true that Seth bought a motorcycle with the GoFundMe money. I think that's just a rumour. I think he rented one. Yeah, I heard that as well. There's a bike rally on, is it Sunday, for Sebastian? So we did hear a few weeks ago that there might be a bike rally. Weren't Katie and Chris arranging it, allegedly? And then it was, oh, no, they weren't. They were buying a new bike. And then, actually, lo and behold, there's a bike rally. I don't know. Krista, you are so kind. Thank you so much. $49.99. Amazing. It's a whole bunch of generous people in my audience. Thank you so much. It means more than you all know, honestly. But no, I don't believe it. This is Tony's mate, who's probably the only time he's ever spoken to a law enforcement officer is when he's had the cuff slapped on his wrists. Oh, I don't know. Look, don't sue me. Actually, sue me. Sue me, and then you'll have to prove. You'll have to prove it to me. You'll have to prove. If you sue me, you'll have to prove that what I'm saying is an out-and-out lie. So you're going to have to prove that you've actually spoken to law enforcement and you've actually got information from law enforcement that no one else has got. So go ahead. Go ahead. SF said Seth has a new bike. Believe him over any of these other guys. I'm under the impression that he's rented it. I mean, obviously, if he's bought it, and he's bought it with the GoFundMe money, and that's true, that rumour's true, then that's shockingly bad. However, we don't know whether that's true or not. We just know that he's in possession of a bike. Even Netflix couldn't make this up. Exactly. Exactly.
That was late in coming forward, and it's sad for whatever reason. The Warsham stuff; those people were 2 weeks later, and again, I don't even know. I'm trying to ask that. Nobody will tell me.
But they're still not confirmed.
I can understand that. Why some people will be slower at coming forward than others. You know, some people might be on vacation. Some people might live out of state. You know, they have 2 homes and they don't realise that, you know, their property that they, you know, only live in maybe part of the year, or maybe they rent it out and they don't really have a, you know, day-to-day contact with it. You know, it's 2 weeks before they realise that their property is right in the middle of a search zone for a missing child. So I can understand why there's going to be people who were later, I guess. It might be, you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before they even realise that their property could have some useful information, or a child could be hiding on it. So... was the vigil cancelled or moved to a new location? I don't know the answer to that. I just know there's a bike rally on the weekend. So Tony is the host. The women helped him set up his TikTok. Oh, God. So me putting in my title, TikTok Tony, wasn't hyperbole then, was it? Oh, thank you, Helen, so much. Thank you for the 5 memberships. She's so kind. Who's got Bridget, Bluebird, Kimberly, Baby Firefly, and Natalie. Thank you so much, you guys. Month stream membership, courtesy of Helen. Whoop, whoop. He's got a toy for riding season. Yeah. I mean, he may have just rented it for a week, you know, to cover the vigil. TikTok Tony. That should be his name on Twitter, on TikTok. TikTok Tony.
Still have not confirmed that it's a criminal case. They've actually said the opposite, that it's not a criminal case.
Thank you, Ocean. She's been listening. Thank you.
Who'd you hear that from?
They've never released that it was a criminal investigation yet. So on day eight, they withdrew and they pulled the searches back and they turned it into an investigation with a possibility of foul play, possible criminal, but never.
Yes, exactly. So Chasing Crime and Ocean have been listening. You know, they're suspicious. I'm glad. Oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, he might start crying. Thank you, Terry Lynn. You're so kind. Thank you for the $1.99. Team Sebastian, absolutely. TikTok ticked. That's funny. Does anybody want to screenshot that?
Converted.
So I'm gonna stop y'all right there. So when I asked Sumner, and I was talking about the searches, and I want to commend them first and foremost. The reason why they said they wanted everybody to stay out of their way and they didn't want no volunteers in this is because it had been already raining there, and there was 3 key areas they were honing in on. And they said in these areas, there was already wash on some of the areas, like where the water is and stuff. He said, we just wanted people to stay out of it because of contamination. He said, we needed every resource that we have available to us to be able to do what we've got to do it's easily contaminated.
And that's true, right? If you have tons and tons and tons of people tramping all over potential, key search sites, law enforcement don't want that. They don't want that. They don't want people out there when they're actively searching. So that's true enough. But you'd probably know that if you were at any ounce of common sense. Curious Kiwi, thank you so much. Gifting 5 memberships. Oh, we're really boosting the membership numbers today. Mythical, Sam, Natty Lady, Anne, and Rachel. Welcome, welcome. Month's free membership. Courtesy of Curious Kiwi. Whoop, whoop. Terry Lynn heading to search soon. Soon be able to tell. Good stuff. Stay safe out there, Terry Lynn. I've been watching some of your footage as well of you searching. Get out there. Boots on the ground. That's what we need.
And so by having other people in this, we needed people that would specialize in certain things. He said, let me say this. He said, I wish we could search every day. He said, we can't. He said, these are volunteers that hold positions within our organization that either could be jailers, deputies, whatever, the emergency management specialists, they're all people that have actual jobs at the end of the day within the system. So they can't afford to take that resource and keep them out there. He said that they did not, and he was honest about this, that they had no luck when it come to the searches. That it seemed very strange that if he would have walked off. He said, now again, this is me saying this on a non-professional level, that if this child ran away or he walked off, we would have had some sense, some hit.
Hold on a minute. I didn't catch that the first time I listened to it. So him saying that on a non-professional level, but I thought he was talking to someone from Sumner County. He was actually talking to a law enforcement source in Sumner County. So, yeah, we've all got a non-professional opinion. We all know that they can only search for so long. They can only spare resources for so long. And if they feel they've exhausted the immediate vicinity, so many people get missed. And I've said it time and time and time and time again. You got to go over the same areas again and again and again. When they're looking for a live person who can help them by shouting or making themselves known, it's very different than a search out there looking for a deceased person. But their resources are finite, right? So that makes sense. However, we've got a big chunk of the game of telephone here. So we've got this Steve who's coming to tell us all that a source that he had a meeting with at Sumner County is now a non-professional person with just an opinion. Come on now.
There's nothing ever.
But that's still
Okay, but it's still to tell you that is crazy.
It's
Now
still
that-
Yeah.
That-
I have no reason to doubt you. I don't know you. I have no reason to doubt you, but I'm sus. I'm just going to say that.
I'm going to tell you this. Call him.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm sus as well. Is the witness at the school verified? Which witness is that? Terry Lynn, thank you so much. $1.99 again. Thank you. Stay safe. Stay safe. Get out there. I wish more people would. Now the acute search has died down, then there's no reason why people can't go out there. His source is the wife of a man who's friends with a detective. Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah. Exactly. Flyers are needed from Hendersonville to Memphis. Not all are aware Sebastian's missing. Truck areas, trucks use a lot in TN. Yeah. And not just on the way to Memphis, I'd say in all directions. So from Hendersonville, spanning out as far as possible. If Sebastian's alive, if he has been abducted, he could literally be anywhere by now. So you could live in the furthest flung place, the furthest possible place away from Tennessee, and still be doing some good by putting some flyers out or sharing stuff on your social media. Anything, any small thing that you can do. Listen, I'm 4,000 miles away, and I can raise awareness, and I can call out the BS, and I can state what facts we know. Next video, Tony is sacked. Yeah. Has anyone been to the ice cream shop or looked along the route? I'm sure they have. I don't think the ice cream shop is very far away. Terry had a tyre slashed. Go and watch your latest live. I haven't seen any YouTube this morning apart from getting these clips. Oh my word. No way. That's so bad. Early morning witness at school. So what did the early morning witness see? And was the early morning witness a child on the way to school or a teacher? Or that'd be useful to know. Would be very useful to know.
I can tell you, I've done my footwork. There's videos. I'm not putting it on here. Tony and Seth have the.
No, I totally respect that 100%. It's just crazy.
And I'm telling y'all, look, ladies, I love every one of y'all. Please don't ever take mine. I want you.
I don't want you to think I'm picking on you or anything.
Man, y'all know I don't give a shit about that.
Okay, good. Okay, I don't want you to be offended.
No, that's the best part about TikTok, right? It's an open-ended conversation where we throw theories.
No, man, I can care less if people. I want
Stephen, please don't get it wrong, Stephen.
I'm glad these guys here on TikTok are suspicious. I'm glad they are.
I will tell you. Hold on a second, Body. I can tell you that if Stephen said that he was standing on the corner,
If CP wants to come up,
I couldn't find the end to that sentence, so I don't know what he was going to say. If Stephen was standing on the corner, what, I believe him, I give him my money. What was he going to say? So this is the next clip. This is just a short clip about apparently Chris was listening.
Yeah, I've been getting messages nonstop that he's down there. Where is Chaps coming up?
oh, they're saying she's very involved in Sebastian's case.
she is. I reached out.
The pop-up on the screen, Tony's. I don't know. It's whoever's recording it. Like, there's... like, I've just been able to get from Facebook groups clips that people have screen recorded. So people would have been screen recording while it was live, and people have just put them out there. So I can't give anybody credit, even. I can't give anybody credit. I didn't even know who this panel was hosted by to give them credit. But apparently it's TikTok Tony's panel. So, you know, he's out there now as a TikTok star. But yeah. I don't know.
Oh, she said she can't talk. It's loud where she is. Okay. Well, let's leave maybe a box open for her in case. And CP is here, so maybe CP wants to come up.
Yeah, for sure, CP.
Come on up.
Why not, CP? Come tell your side.
You're welcome here.
You are more than welcome. And listen.
Can I say something, please, right here? If he does come up, don't fucking hound him.
No, turn the comments off. I say turn the comments off right away. Comments will go off, CP.
I agree.
If CP comes up, the comments need to go.
information we got.
Oh. Does anybody know whether they actually got to speak to Chris? Does anybody know? Oh dear. It's like in the old days. Do you remember videos? Like video players? Do you remember them? You know, with VHS tapes. And you record, you set your timer, you think you've done everything great. You set your timer, you go out, you come back, and you settle down to watch your favourite show. And oh no, the last 5 minutes, the cliffhanger's missing because your tape ran out. That's what I felt like when I was trying to find these clips. And it was the same ones being shared. So I was like, oh dear. Hopefully somebody's got the full stream. Chantal, thank you so much for the $2 You're very kind. YouTube's telling me that that's the first super chat on a live stream. Oh, thank you. These people can't be serious. My children are not that gullible. Actually, to be fair, the ladies on this panel were suspicious. They were suspicious. So honestly, I don't think they were gullible. I really don't think they were gullible. So this is the last clip. I think this is from Allegedly with Britney, because I can hear Britney's voice like commenting in the background. So this clip, I think, must have been on Allegedly with Britney, and then somebody screen recorded it from there and then posted it, if that makes any sense. So some of these clips have been screen recorded probably about 10 times, but it's the best I could do. It's the best I could do. Terrible TikTok Tony took a time out. Is he a felon? I mean, I keep hearing that he's a felon. I haven't gone to check his, check his status or anything. I don't care that much. I don't care that much about our Tony. Tony said this Stephen guy is salt of the earth. So, you know, he's sketchy. Yeah. Yeah. Dear me. All right. So I think this is one long continuous clip. This is the bit about Katie's mother.
They had a theory we got last night was we've got evidence that
Thank you, PJ.
Sebastian was communicating with Katie's mom the night before he went missing by text.
Sebastian,
we also got information that there is video footage of him on the 26th now, not just.
So listen to that closely. Listen to that closely. Let me just put it back a few seconds. He says there's a theory that. So people who are running with it being factual, because Tony said it, that Sebastian was being texted by his grandma, like the RSO grandma, then listen carefully. Let me just put it back a few seconds here.
DP comes up, the comments need to go.
Information we got was that they had a theory.
They had a theory.
We've got evidence that
they had a theory that.
Thank you, PJ.
Sebastian was communicating with Katie's mom the night before he went missing by text.
Sebastian was.
We also got information that there is video footage of him on the 26th now, not just on the 25th. And then the one
guy at the bottom that just stood up, that's Stephen.
The information we got was that they had a theory. Now, Stephen broke it down in 24, 48, 7.
So there was theories. They had a theory. Now, I don't know who the they is that he's talking about. So they had a theory that, I don't know whether he's talking about law enforcement had a theory, or the PIs had a theory, or Seth had a theory, or some random friend that he had on TikTok had a theory, or his grandma 3 times removed down the road had a theory. And we don't know whose theory it was that Sebastian was texting his maternal grandma. But then he says, we've got information that Sebastian was seen on the 26th of February. So everything hinges on the information from good old Stephen Crabtree.
But they essentially had a theory, a runaway type theory for 72 hours. And after 72 hours, their theory took a 180-degree turn.
Well, let me ask you this. If they had a runaway theory for 72 hours, why were they checking it out?
Vet Girl, thank you so much for the $9.99. Please do not go and harass anyone mentioned in this. So wrong, in my opinion. I agree. Don't go harassing anybody. Don't harass anybody. That would be helpful. Call them out if they need to be, but harassing them, go in real life, all of that, no, please don't. But thank you so much, Vet Girl. You're so kind. Circus. Yeah. Theory doesn't mean facts. Of course, yeah, absolutely. Of course it doesn't. Absolutely. But we all have a theory. Of course we do. We all have a theory. Some of them are complete wackadoodle theories that that can't possibly have happened. And some theories are based on the few facts we know. But none of us knows. None of us knows. I mean, look, strange things happen. Strange things happen every day, all the time. Is this going to be one of those cases that turns out to be stranger than fiction? Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe it's a very simple case. We don't know because none of us knows. But what I do know is I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody at all connected with this case. The only people I want to hear from right now are law enforcement. I don't trust Tony. I don't trust this Stephen. And again, once again, prove me wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong if they could provide me with the information, if they could provide me with evidence that there actually was a sighting on the 26th. And also, if they truly believe that Katie's mother was texting Sebastian, well, law enforcement would have been able to tell that within a few hours. I mean, and if she was texting Sebastian, maybe she was texting Sebastian. Doesn't mean to say that's anything to do with his disappearance, though, does it? So if law enforcement got Sebastian's phone, we know they've got his phone because he left his phone at home. So they've got his phone. They'll check his text messages. They'll check his deleted text messages. And if there's text messages from for anybody, every single person that Sebastian texted will have been probably visited by now by the FBI, I would imagine. You know, they'd have had a knock on the door. They'd have been checked out. So don't run with that. I don't believe it. And I won't believe it until it's proven. So, and from Tony's own mouth, this was a theory they had. This was a theory they had. That's all. Thank you, Terrylyn. Refuse to stop searching. It will not go cold. Thank you. Team Sebastian, absolutely.
Well,
Dude, thank you.
No idea.
Could have been leads or people calling in.
You know, that's one of the questions I asked, and I got fucking converted. I was like, dodged.
But I was the one that
I want to see that affidavit for it, the search warrant.
What?
I want to see the search warrant for it. Like, I want to.
God.
So he says, Stephen Crabtree says he got dodged. So they were talking about, they go into the landfill search. Now, the audio was a bit off there, but When he asked about the landfill searched, he got dodged. So his source, his non-professional source, wouldn't answer. And it is true that to do that landfill search, I mean, they were only there a day apparently, but they would probably have got a search warrant. You know, even if the landfill company said, yeah, come in, come and search. They probably would have got a search warrant anyway for it, but they didn't find anything. So,
yeah.
It would be
the information that led them to get the approval.
Yeah, because they think it's private property, right? That dumpster, even though it belongs to a company, wouldn't that be considered?
Yes.
Yeah,
they can't just go off of a hunch and the timing, right? They can't go off the fact that it was a 6:33 call, garbage was picked up at 5:13. That doesn't.
And even if they're given permission, they usually get a warrant anyways, just to cover their butt, so it's not thrown out later in court.
That's true. They do tend to get warrants, even if, like companies like, you know, landfill stuff, it's preferable that they have a warrant. Does Katie have a dad? Yes. His name is Dave. Where is he? I don't know exactly where he is, but he's called Dave. Is he in Katie's life at all? I think she has communication with him. We've not heard anything about him. He does post about Sebastian on his Facebook. But if I was him, I would remain totally in the background. How did Nina Glass come into play? I suppose he's searching with a bad back and needs a car fixed in order to get to Tennessee. I've only heard a little about this woman. I've not really paid much attention. Apparently, she's a bit of a scammer. I mean, apparently, I don't know whether that's true or not. So the dad's in Virginia Beach. Okay. Well, yeah, she is from Virginia, so that makes sense. She's lived in a bunch of places, but the family's from Virginia.
They would need a PCA for that. That's what they would need.
Yeah. So, Tony, I was the one in the comments that were repeatedly saying that about Chesapeake, and I did message you. I do have that address as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
I don't know what the reference to Chesapeake is. Thank you, Marianne, for the $2.99. And YouTube is telling me that's your 10th super on a live stream. Thank you. Dave isn't well. No, don't go and harass. Don't go and harass him. Don't go and find him and harass him. Don't go and harass Katie's sister either or anything. Just don't. Oh, Mom's in Chesapeake. Okay. Thank you, PJ. Oh, dear me. She's a total hustler. Oh, I assume you mean Nina. I haven't paid much attention. I've seen a couple of creators mention her. I haven't paid much attention. Just like, oh, another scammer. And left it at that and moved on. Did I get bombarded with mad emails yet? No, I never turn my emails on. So if I have been, I would never know. Unless I make a point of actually clicking on the email icon. I don't have notifications on any of my devices for any of my apps. None. I live in blissful ignorance until I choose to click on something. I don't like notifications. I don't do them at all. No way. Tony vouched for Nina and said she needs money for gas and to get her vehicle fixed. No way. Exactly. Be cautious about giving cash to anybody wanting to travel. Yeah. I wouldn't give cash to anybody connected to this case. At all. At all. On Pascal, Tony was on his phone all the time. It was totally distracting. Yeah, it was. It absolutely was. Oh yeah, and he got a bit offended, didn't he? Saying, oh, well, I've got to work. I work 8 hours and then I do this for 8 hours and, oh, I have to check my, well, whatever. Okay, dude, sit down. But look. Fundraisers for travel expenses and stuff like that. I mean, look, if it was a genuine person, it was a genuine organization, I would feel differently. I'm not mean. I donate to genuine organizations. I've donated to EquiSearch. I've donated to I did some donations to Hawkins County Animal Shelter when it was all going down about Summer's dogs. So I donate to genuine causes, but not to random people. Adventures with Purpose. I was a member of Adventures with Purpose channel until all that went down with Jared. And then I deleted my membership. So obviously they haven't found him. It sounds like a bit of hot air is being blown around. Yeah, that's some total. Now Candace has a bunch of puppies again. I saw that. Yeah, I've been watching her live streams. The only charity that I donate to like monthly though is Dogs Trust here in the UK. Like it just goes out of my bank every month. Who is Nina? Just this random woman who wants to get. She apparently has this organization. She got done for shooting someone. It's just a lot of, I don't know, a lot of noise, just white noise. And she wants to come to Tennessee, but she needs a truck fixing and she needs gas money. So just another random person. All right, let's get to the end of this. We've only got a bit more to go.
So does Seth plan to have with this new information, does he plan to call a meeting?
If I know Seth was probably on the phone with Bobby Simmons probably about 30 seconds after he got off the phone with me.
Yeah, no doubt.
But you know what's crazy is that, and again, you know, everybody gets all up in arms about all of this time I spent on TikTok, and I will tell you that all of the information we gathered started out with somebody that I was introduced to on TikTok, just so you guys know.
What did you say? Say that again, Tony. Repeat that, please.
So all of the information that he's gathered is from TikTok. I mean, these women on this panel must have been like, what on earth? What on earth are we doing here? because they were suspicious. They were suspicious of him. Who's Bobby Simmons? He's from the TBI, I think. so this one here, what's her name? Her name's blurry. I can't see what her name is, but she's like, say that again. What? And he does. He does.
Yes, confuse me.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have wondered why I spent so much time connecting with all these different people on TikTok, but yet all of this information that I was able to give to Seth between Stephen and another person came through people that I met on TikTok.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, God. Okay.
It started.
Hey, can I ask you, Tony? Somebody keeps asking this in comments, and I honestly, I do want to know this because this is the other part of it. It's like with did Sebastian did he regularly text his grandma?
Not to what we were led to believe. No, not KP's mom.
And that's it. Oh dear. Halfway, you must have just come in. Who's the guy on the bottom looking pissed? Him? That's Tony Source. That's Tony Source. His name is Stephen Crabtree. So this guy, Stephen Crabtree, and one other person are the sources that he's collected all of this information from. All these people that he's met on TikTok. The reason why he sits on TikTok panels is to gather information from people who look pissed. He does. He absolutely does. Oh dear, got it from TikTok. But this guy, like 11 minutes ago, we started this out by him saying that he had a law enforcement source. And then it turned into a non-professional source. And now it's turned out to random people on TikTok. I can't. Please, somebody beam me up. Somebody tell me this is it's a joke. Absolutely, Shaker Maker. Sebastian deserves so much better than this. Exactly. It's funny. It's funny how ridiculous this has become. But this is a missing child. Come on now. This is a missing child. This is who we're talking about. This is whose case has become an absolute circus. And Seth, it appears, is buying all of this because it was Seth who sacked Chloe, the PI. And I hope Seth wakes up. I hope Seth realizes what these people are doing. It's worse than Summer Wells. Summer Wells got bad. Summer Wells got really bad, but this is way worse. Way worse than Summer Wells. Like all the antics that Don and Candice got up to, think what you like about them. But the worst they did was get drunk and said some stupid stuff. And yeah, there's been hangers on and there's been a media manager and there's been some scams, but nothing like this. Nothing like this. But I really don't blame Katie and Chris for keeping way out of this. Like, just sit back and listen to law enforcement. Don't get drawn in. I mean, look, Chris is likely to get drawn in, but I don't know. Chris is his own worst enemy, but I don't know. But I did not believe a word of that. And like I keep saying, if they can prove me wrong, if they can show me evidence, if they can show me actual evidence that there was a sighting of Sebastian on the 26th that, you know, somehow law enforcement didn't tell Seth about when Seth asked for proof of life. If that can come out and it's genuine, send me the file. I'll need to check it, check the metadata. Don't just send me some random boy who looks a bit like Sebastian. Seth works for a prison. He's not gullible. Oh, I don't know. I beg to differ. I think the issue with Seth is that he wants so much for Sebastian to be alive that he's willing to grasp at straws. And who wouldn't? Quite frankly, like, I don't blame him for that. He's desperate. He's desperate. That's why the North Carolina sighting, you know, he was adamant that it was Sebastian because he wanted it to be Sebastian. And it could have been Sebastian. It just turns out that it wasn't Sebastian. The next sighting that comes along could well be Sebastian. Let's not give up on hope that he is alive. Let's not give up on hope. But let's be realistic. And I think Seth is desperate and he's grasping at straws. And that can lead people into making bad choices. And it can lead people into believing stories, believing people that you really shouldn't take any stock by. And, you know, maybe we'd all fall into, you know, if we were that desperate, maybe we'd all fall into a trap of believing people that we shouldn't. But whatever you believe, this is who it's actually about. This is who it's actually about. Sebastian Wainwright Rogers. 15 years old, white male, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'5", just under 120 pounds. Last seen in the area of Stafford Court, Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee. Reported missing on the February 26th. Last seen, last confirmed sighting was by his mother at home in the late night hours of the 25th. He was last seen by his mother wearing black sweatshirt with a motif on it, black sweatpants with a white Adidas style stripe, and he always wears his glasses. He is vulnerable. He does have autism. He also has a chromosomal deletion syndrome. It does make him vulnerable. But he's an intelligent lad, and if he's out there alive and he's holding his own, then hopefully somebody somewhere along the line will find him. And if you do have any credible tips, anything at all, not on TikTok, contact Sumner County Emergency Communications Centre at 615-451-3838 or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. So, TikTok Tony. So has anybody got is there any more clips out there? I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's going to be loads of clips come out. But all I could find as of about 2 hours before I went live was what I've shown you. But anyway, I'm going to go now. Just joining what's going on. Bethany, rewind. I'm just about to get off here. I'm going to go and lie down in a darkened room now for an hour before the Karen Reid trial starts. These TikToks go on for hours. Oh, my word. I wonder whether anybody actually screen grabbed all of it. Tony's team is going for YouTube creators. Big Bros Tony was bought up. Okay, I don't know what that means. It has to be true if it's on TikTok. It does indeed. It does indeed. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for joining me for this impromptu live stream. Go and check out the video that I did on Madeline Soto earlier, if you can bear it, because it's horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible things that went on. That poor little girl's life. About your bedtime. Wow. It's midday here. Good night. Good night, down under with love. Good night, all of you people. Sleep tight down under. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much to the mods as always. And thank you for the donations. You've been very, very generous in this live stream. So thank you so much. And yeah, I shall see you next time. Bye, guys.